It is my pleasure to invite our medalist, the Reverend Dr. Calvin O. Butts III, President of the State University of New York College at Old Westbury and pastor of the Abyssinian Baptist Church in the city of New York, to join me at the podium. Dr. Butts, early in your tenure as pastor of Abyssinian Baptist Church, you recognized the catastrophic impact of HIV/AIDS and mobilized the religious community to support patients and their families. While others condemn lifestyle choices or remain mute, you told those who were affected, God loves you, and so do I. In 1989, with residents losing their homes to rising taxes, you founded the Abyssinian Development Corporation, which has since created more than $500 million in local housing and commercial development, including Harlem's first national retail chain stores and first full-service supermarkets. Through your leadership, the Abyssinian Development Corporation also helped establish the Thurgood Marshall Academy for Learning and Social Change, where 94% of high school students graduate in 4 years, far surpassing city and state averages. More recently, as president of the State University of New York at Old Westbury, you have increased enrollment, focused on excellence and leadership development, and obtained funding for 5 new residence halls, a student union, and new academic center, as well as technology enhancement for the classroom and for the dormitories. In describing your many hats, the publication Uptown has called you, unquote, a true old school preacher who stretches himself to be as many things as possible for his community. Or, as you recently told an interviewer, I can't say I love you and want to save your soul while I'm watching you die of hunger, or watching you perish because you don't have a good education, or watching you wither away because you can't get decent health care. Reverend Dr. Butts, for your service as one of the nation's most inspiring intellectual and spiritual leaders, and the great champion of New York City's Harlem, for improving the lives of all New Yorkers, and for demonstrating in today's world the authentic connection between spirituality and social justice. We at Teachers College are proud to award you the College Medal for Distinguished Service. Join me in giving a big hand to Reverend Butts.
Thank you, Dr. Morrell. To President Furman, to Chairs Highland and Rickard, to the Board of Trustees, as well as to the Selection Committee. Without any further hesitation, to this distinguished faculty, and of course to the class of 2014. Let's celebrate each other together. I stand before you this afternoon as the pastor of a very old 206 church in the Harlem community and a rapidly growing, relatively young State University college. They represent who I am. I'm a pastor and a president, but that undergirds my mantra, which is that education and faith are the Tigris and the Euphrates of all that makes America great, twin rivers at the source of our civil democracy. And to you men and women out there who graduate today, you become part of a major offensive against the terrorism that threatens our great democracy. You cannot maintain a civil democracy without a well-educated population. And you are the soldiers in the fight to make sure that whatever level it is, whatever area it is, whatever industry it is, that we are continually educating our population to make the United States of America even greater than it is now. I stand before you because I believe in this nation, And I believe that what we have to work together to do is provide the opportunity for every man and woman here and for those who may come to become not only citizens of this great nation and remain citizens of this great nation, but to make sure that that citizenship is available to everyone, wherever they may be, whoever they are, and that we work hard to protect the rights that are ours by virtue of our citizenship and our humanity. I believe in you, and I believe that if we work together, we can improve our nation. About 211 years ago, an American prophet said these words. He said that a man or a woman should not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I think that's also true of a great nation. Our nation must be judged by the content of its character. But like so many things said of old in today's world, we take them as cliches. We never pause to think about what character really is. What is it? If we're to be judged by it, what is it? And I want to suggest to this class that character exists of several things. One, it's the avoidance of luxury. 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 Luxury is always preceded, for the most part, by avarice. And we have to be careful in this great land of plenty that our desire for luxury does not make us greedy. And greed usually finds its way into the hands of a few, while many suffer greatly. Teachers College was developed to provide education for the poor. We must not be ashamed of that word. We must say it often, because there are many more poor Americans than there are anything else. And we have to labor to make sure that our desire for luxury does not take bread and health care and shelter and education out of the hands of the poor. Character is the avoidance of luxury. Character is a concern for courtesy. You've heard the poem, "No one is an island, no one stands alone. Each one's joy is joy to me, each one's grief is my own." We need one another, so we must defend each person as our brother or sister, each person as our friend. I have to be concerned about you, courteous toward you, not just holding a door open when you come behind me, not just taking my hat off when you enter an elevator. Courtesy means that I'm concerned about your well-being. And no matter what anyone may say, no matter what their background may be, no matter what claim they have to authenticity because of how long they have been in a certain place, that does not take away from your human dignity and my responsibility to make sure that I treat you with courtesy, that every need that you have must be met before I can feel comfortable with what I have. Character is a concern for courtesy. It's nurturing a love for beauty. Beauty. I love to hear a wonderful symphony. You know, art and music has been taken out of the schools. Beauty. I love to see a great cathedral built like this, with the great care that the artisans have to put into the work. Beauty. I love Paul Klee. I love Salvador Dali, even though you might question his beauty. But I also love Jacob Lawrence. I also love the poetry of Paul Laurence Dunbar. I can quote Keats and Longfellow, but I also love Gwendolyn Brooks and Amiri Baraka. Beauty. And without an appreciation for that beauty, how can we lift up our great nation? Character. And of course, character is the capacity to endure. The race is not given to the swift, you well know that now, but to those who can endure unto the end. One thing we must remember, America was not built overnight. It's a lot of struggle, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, stony the road we trod. But we built a great nation, and we must work to maintain it. And so we must judge our nation by the content of its character. And its character is forged by men and women coming from every part of the world, and men and women making great contributions to who we are. You know I'm a clergyman, and one of the great texts comes out of Mark and the Old Testament. It's the Shema. It says, love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy mind, with all thy strength, and with all thy soul. And the second commandment is like unto the first. Love your neighbor as yourself. Listen, class, as I take my seat. I've spent many, many years trying to find out who I am. When I came up in the public schools of New York, nobody talked about me. Nobody reflected on me. I had to struggle every day. It was not until I was almost a grown man that I began to discover who I am and develop a powerful love for self. Now, no one can take away from me. I know who I am. I'm firm in it. But no one should take away from anybody else. I've got to love me first and then extend that love to everyone. And so I say to you, graduates, love yourself. Find out who you are. Never back up, but never let love for self turn you against anyone else. And then out of many, we will make one. And so we judge America by the content of its character. Education should do three things: improve your character, increase your knowledge, help you to earn a living. In this nation, we've turned it upside down, put earning a living on top and character on the bottom. Is there any wonder why we have the troubles that we do? But you are the new army. You go forward. You fight the battles. We salute you. I thank you. And may God bless you, the graduating class of 2014.